This is only the beginning. Mark, points you want to make about this, statements you want to make about this?
Just that people need to wake up. I'm trying to wake up my officers as much as I can. For instance, at the beginning of the year, I did a little presentation at Roll Call, my predictions for 2010, and it kind of opened up the door. And I had an officer approach me the other day, just before Roll Call, and he said, "Hey, I watched Jesse Ventura last night," and but then I had to start Roll Call. I didn't get a chance to talk to him. So later on in the evening, I sent him a message, and I said, "Hey, you want to stop and get some coffee?" And he said, "Sure." And so we had an opportunity to talk about issues and stuff like that. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get people woken up to it. I'm trying to get people on the same page, because we need to stand together. That's the only way that we're going to win this battle.
And, Mark, I agree with you, because I told MSNBC yesterday when they came to interview me for Chris Matthews for a documentary he's making for MSNBC, I explained to the lady, I said, this has all been scripted, and we have the Rand Corporation and all their own admissions. They want to squeeze the people. They want to push the people while brainwashing the police against the population. So the police get abusive. The public starts hating the police to make us enemies with each other. And they do plan to have a violent revolution in this country that they're going to use to bring in total police state. In the process, local police are going to be devastated. We need to stop this now. We need to not have this go to violence. But the establishment wants it. They are pushing, because they're going to be off in their ivory towers in Europe and in New York with their bodyguards, and they're going to have you, Mark, with all these officers under you, sounds like you're a officer in your department, marching out to engage in tyranny as they bring in unlimited illegal aliens and criminals, as the society implodes, as crime rates explode, as the society falls apart, as the public is becoming moral and very evil. It's not just police that we see becoming more and more corrupt. I mean, we are a sick society, and we need good leadership like yours and others to take the risk of sticking your head up to the tyranny, because the risk is greater to go along with it. We know where this river leads, over the edge of the falls. We've got to get out of the comfort zone now. We have got to. I mean, I've got chills right now, folks. Do you realize how real this is? The danger we're in? I mean, almost every single member of the Obama administration gives public speeches saying they're communist and they want and they like Mao Zedong. I mean, you cannot make this magnitude of evil up. Mark, God bless you. Good to hear from you. We're going to come back with Kurt Nimmo briefly. I want to have a talk with him live on air. You can kind of see some of the behind the scenes that goes on here. It enrages me. It angers me. It also exhausts me. I mean, it's illegal. The police can't show up and say you can't sell guns without a law. You can't do it. There are literally hundreds of state laws this violates. And then there's the Commerce Clause of the Constitution. The feds are in Austin. They order the APD to go down there and say no private sales, which is completely legal. They've tried to ban it at the legislature over and over again. I mean, if they get away with this, the sky's the limit. I want to bring Kurt Nimmo up. He wrote a very important article. Feds, cops attempt to shut down legal gun sales in Austin. Steve Watson has the headline at prisonplanet.com. BATF notice bans private gun sales in Texas. They did ban it. And then to make it look legal, they had some illegal alien, we're confirming this happened, people witnessed this arrest, go in and some old guy was trying to sell a shotgun. He sold it to the illegal, which wasn't illegal because it's a private sale. It's not his job to know that under the law. You still have that private right. He wasn't a gun dealer under federal control, and they arrested him. So they do that in these staged events. Going to Kurt Nimmo. Kurt, we need to really get on this and go over what Jack McClan pointed out, go over the points I made, the police officers that called in, how they've tried to use, I remember seeing that in the news in several states, Ohio, Pennsylvania, other places, where they go in and try to ban private sales through local business licenses. But they can't ban garage sales. They can't ban all of these different events, though the feds put a ruling out this year. Remember the Fox News headline, 5 years in prison for garage sale? So they're trying to implement this. You've already paid tax on something. You're allowed to resell it. So they try all these regulations. Now they're not even doing that. They just show up and say no sales. I mean, that is tyranny when they just announce, I've got a gun, I've got a uniform, I'm your God.
Yeah, Alex, even under the Federal Firearms Ownership Protection Act in 1986, people aren't required to, do background checks on people they sell guns to. So they're even violating their own laws against the Second Amendment.
Be sure and add that. That's right. We've passed laws to stop this before, and they just break the law. They're not just breaking the law, making something up when there's no law. They're breaking laws.
That's right. Like I told you prior to coming on, this is a totally egregious violation of the Commerce Clause of the Constitution. And I think legally, if people are going to stop this kind of nonsense, that's what they're going to have to go to is go to the Supreme Court and argue that this is a violation of the Commerce Clause of the Constitution.
Well, we need to hit them on all fronts. We need to stop this in Austin right now, Kurt. But we need to just churn out more stories, more of the angles, and point out to people, you've done a great job with this one article, that this is completely illegal. I mean, they can't just make up whatever they want.
No, they can't. But, what they're trying to do in, what's her name, Carolyn McCarthy, the notorious gun grabber, she introduced the Gun Show Loophole Closing Act of 2009. Let me see, it's H.R. 2324. And what they're trying to do is close down the gun shows through this new law, and they're actually trying to tie this to terrorism. If you read the bill, they make these comparisons to illegal gun sales being terrorism. It's insane. Actually, Frank Lautenberg also introduced a bill. So the Democrats introduced another bill too. This is called Gun Show Background Check Act of 2009.
And that's another issue. Obama keeps saying, I don't want your guns, even though he writes all these letters and introduces laws as a state senator, even though all his czars are calling for complete banning, even though they're harassing everybody. They're coming after our guns while denying they're doing it.
That's right. Well, the Democrats are really behind these laws. I mean, the Loophole Closing Act has 35 co-sponsors, mostly Democrats, and Lautenberg's Senate bill has 15 co-sponsors, all of them Democrats. So this is basically coming out of the Obama administration, as you pointed out.
But again, he uses that military tactic of going with the bills, going with the regulations, going with the color of law, going with the tyranny, while getting on the news going, these crazy conspiracy theorists, they think that we want their guns.
Well, it doesn't help that there's like 17 states that are, regulating gun shows as well. Let me see, California, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Oregon, New York, Illinois, and Colorado. And 4 states, Hawaii, Maryland, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, require background checks at gun shows on handguns. So states are working with the feds as well to implement this.
Well, we know they're coming after our guns, but the issue is this is a new development to just have the feds show up and say, we don't need laws anymore. You're done. And then arrest someone. I mean,
it's insane. It's insane that the federal government has no jurisdiction over intra-sale of firearms at all. None. Under the Commerce Clause.
We need another headline like gun sales banned in Austin without law, illegal, and then point out the Commerce Clause, because you've done some great research, Kurt Nimmo. I know that'll be up later this evening at Infowars.com. Your current article is up there. Great job. Thank you so much, Kurt, for the wonderful work you do at Infowars.com.
Take care.
Great job. Kurt Nimmo, you heard him. What a researcher. You hear all those facts, all the laws they're violating?